dear students, today we are going to discuss the chapter 2 from your unit 1. It is the biological classification. Before going to the chapter, we have to know what is biological classification. Actually, it is the grouping together of various organisms according to their similarities, dissimilarities and phylogenetic descent. Or simply we can say that it is the arrangement of organisms into groups. That is biological classification. And the biological classification has several advantages. First of all, it helps the identification of organism. And secondly, the study of representative from each group gives an idea of the lives of the entire group, which means we know that there are millions of organisms in the earth. So it is not possible to study each organism in separate basis. So if there is a classification, there should be a representative organism for each group. While studying that representative organism, we will get an idea of the life of the entire group. That is the benefit. And third one, it reveals the relationship among the various group of organisms. And finally, it helps biologists to interpret the purely visible structure of fossil organisms. These are the main benefits of biological classification. And the classification is as old as human civilization. So ancient people gave names to plants and animals so as to recognize them. They studied their features, even classified them in their own language. Their classification were based on their use of organism for food, shelter and clothing. So let's come to the chapter. Here they mentioned that who is the first person attempt for biological classification. It is Aristotle who is first attempt for a classification, biological classification, first proposed by Aristotle. Actually, it is in 3rd century BC. So, the Aristotle classification was based on simple morphological characters. Actually, he classified plants into 3 groups: trees, shrubs and herbs. And he classified animals into 2 groups. They are red blood and non-red blood organisms. This is the simple classification of Aristotle. However, his method was very simple and not fully accurate. So, later we followed a 2-kingdom classification. That 2-kingdom classification was introduced by Carl Linnaeus. In Malayalam, it is called Diloka Vargikarana, 2-kingdom classification, which was proposed by Carl Linnaeus. Actually, he classified all living things into 2 large groups. That is Kingdom Plantae, which means plant kingdom, and Kingdom Animalia, which means animal kingdom. Actually, this system of classification was used till very recently. This classification was used. And we have to know some more additional information about Carl Linnaeus. Actually, he is a Swedish naturalist and he regarded as the father of taxonomy. Carl Linnaeus is the father of taxonomy. And he published some books. One of the famous book is Species Plantarum. And you may heard that Systema Naturae. It was by Carl Linnaeus. And also he introduced the binomial nomenclature. The binomial nomenclature system was proposed by Carl Linnaeus. And he proposed 2-kingdom classification which include Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. Actually, this classification was very simple and easy to understand, but it had many problems. Every classification system has some merits and demerits. One of the main merits is it's very simple, or it is very easy to understand, and this classification is easily done by classifying living organisms into plants and animals. And the drawbacks or demerits of the 2-kingdom classifications are, actually, this classification doesn't distinguish between prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. Prokaryotes means organism without true nucleus. Organism without true nucleus. And eukaryote means organism with true nucleus. Organism with true nucleus. And second demerit is it doesn't distinguish between unicellular organism and multicellular organisms. First one is it is not distinguish between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Second one is it does not distinguish between unicellular and multicellular organisms. And third one is does not distinguish between photosynthetic organism and non-photosynthetic organisms. Non-photosynthetic organism. So due to these demerits, the two kingdom classification used for a long time was found inadequate in recently. So this system is not satisfactory for many biologists because there are great diversity of organism and they are diverse in cell structure, body of organism and mode of nutrition. For example, the fungi and some microbes, they didn't fit well into either groups, either kingdom Plantae or kingdom Animalia. So, scientists realized that just looking at outer appearance wasn't enough. We have to reach into the internal structure of the organism. So, they started using more features like cell type, how organisms get food, where they live, how they reproduce and how they evolve. Over time, better classification systems were developed and the idea of kingdoms changed to include more types of living things. That is the evolution of biological classification. So, to overcome these demerits, later R.H. Whittaker in 1969 proposed a 5-kingdom classification. 5-kingdom classification, and this classification is mainly based on cell structure, cell complexity, mode of nutrition, phylogenetic relationship and ecological role performed by the organisms. Here you can see the table. Here the main characters they given are cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane, body organization and mode of nutrition. This is the 5-kingdom classification characters. So the 5 kingdom are kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. And we should know that what are the criteria used by Whittaker for the 5-kingdom classification. Those are cell structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction and phylogenetic relationship. And he classified the organism into 5 kingdoms. First one, kingdom Monera, which include the prokaryotic organisms. And second one, the kingdom Protista, which include the unicellular eukaryotes. And kingdom Fungi, it include the multicellular decomposers. And kingdom Plantae, the multicellular producers, which means plants, photosynthetic organisms. And kingdom Animalia, the kingdom of multicellular consumers, including human beings. That is the 5-kingdom classification. You should study this table. What are the characters of 5-kingdom classification? Here you can see Monera prokaryotic, Protista prokaryotic, Fungi eukaryotic, plant eukaryotic and Animalia eukaryotic, and other characters also you should study. Let us check the primary characters of this classification. Later we can go for the detailed explanation. First of all, when it comes to kingdom Monera, here all prokaryotic organisms are included in the kingdom Monera. Means Monera, the monos, that means single. All prokaryotic organisms are included in kingdom Monera and they are microscopic organisms. So they are prokaryotic and so the true nucleus and membrane bound cell organelles are absent in these organisms. That are the characters of kingdom Monera. First of all, they are prokaryotic, so they don't have a true nucleus and other membrane bound cell organelles, and they are microscopic organisms. That are the characters of kingdom Monera. And second one is kingdom Protista, which include primarily unicellular aquatic eukaryotic organisms. Unicellular aquatic eukaryotic organisms. The cells of protists have true nucleus because they are eukaryotic. So they have true nucleus and other membrane bound organelles and non-membranous organelles they have. Membranous and non-membranous organelles they have. True nucleus they have. Mainly they are aquatic unicellular eukaryotic organism. That is kingdom Protista. And third one is kingdom Fungi. Kingdom Fungi includes eukaryotic multicellular heterotrophic organisms. Eukaryotic multicellular and heterotrophic organisms, which is included in kingdom Fungi. But there is an exception, which is yeast. This is an exceptional fungus which is unicellular. Yeast is an exceptional fungus which is unicellular. And fourth one is kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae. The kingdom Plantae, which includes multicellular chlorophyll containing organism also, but there are exceptions. Some algae such as diatoms, dinoflagellates, and some members Monera, Protista, and fungi. This is not included in kingdom Plantae. Only include multicellular chlorophyll containing organisms. And it is generally called green plants. Green plants. They also include green algae, brown algae, red algae, mosses, ferns, gymnosperms, and flowering plants. Mosses, ferns, gymnosperm, flowering plants, and green, red, brown algae is included in kingdom Plantae. Actually, they are the primarily producers on land. Primary producers on land. So, but they are immobile. We know they are lack of motion, but they have a cellulose cell wall. Due to the presence of the chlorophyll, they can synthesize their own food material from carbon dioxide and water. These are the characteristics of kingdom plant members. And actually plants are generally autotrophic. We know that they are generally autotrophic. In their mode of nutrition is autotrophic. They can synthesize their own food material. But there are exceptional plants. Some plants are partially heterotrophic, such as insectivorous plants and parasites. Insectivore plants we can know Venus flytrap, bladderwort, and these are the examples for insectivorous plants. And parasites, Cuscuta, it's an example for parasites. These are exceptional for autotrophic mode of nutrition. They are partially heterotrophic, not fully, they are partially heterotrophic. And when it comes to insectivorous plants, these plants are also known as carnivorous plants. They are partially autotrophic and partially heterotrophic. Actually, they are partially autotrophic and partially heterotrophic. And also the bladderwort, they are the floating hydrophyte. They are also partially heterotrophic. The Venus flytrap, they are also using, they are not synthesizing their food. They are catching flies and ants like that for the nutrition. That is the exceptional plants in the plant kingdom. And when it comes to kingdom Animalia, it's included all multicellular heterotrophic organisms. All multicellular heterotrophic eukaryotes included in the kingdom Animalia. But their cells have no cell wall. Kingdom Plantae have a cellulose cell wall, but here the cells are without cell wall. They directly or indirectly depends on plants for their food. So they digest the food in an internal cavity, which means the alimentary canal, and store it as glycogen or fat. The animals, they have a definite growth pattern. They grow into adults with a definite shape and size. And they are holozoic and mobile. So they exhibit heterotrophic mode of nutrition. The animal members are well-developed control and coordination mechanisms. Sexual reproduction is by copulation of male and female followed by an embryo development. These are the characters of kingdom Animalia members. And let's check what are the advantages and disadvantages of 5 kingdom classification. For the main advantages are, first of all, the classification is based on cellular organization and mode of nutrition. So these characters are evolved very early in the organic world. That is one of the merits. And second one, in this classification, the organisms are placed based on the gradual evolution of early organism into plants and animals. So 5 kingdom classification seems more natural compared to 2 kingdom and Aristotle classification. And the prokaryotic differs from all other organisms in their morphological and physiological organization. So all the prokaryotes were separated from the plants and placed in an independent kingdom, kingdom Monera. It is one of the advantages. And the fourth one is unicellular organism or unicellular eukaryotes like Euglena was included under both plants and animals in early classification. This anomaly was eliminated by grouping all unicellular eukaryotes in a separate kingdom, kingdom Protista. And the last one is the green plants have cellulosic cell wall, while fungi have chitinous cell wall. Green plants are autotrophs while fungi are heterotrophs. Based on this difference, the fungi were placed in a separate kingdom called kingdom fungi. These are the main advantages of the kingdom 5 kingdom classification. And the demerits or disadvantage of this classification includes the unicellular green algae such as Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, Volvox, etc. are included in kingdom Plantae. This is due to their dissemblance in structure, reproduction and life cycle pattern with the other green algae. And second one is the slime molds. They have cell wall, are quite different from the other protists, but they were included in kingdom Protista. That is one of the demerits. And third one is the kingdom Monera and Protista both include photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic forms, and organism with cell wall and without cell wall. So these two kingdoms are heterogeneous groups. These kingdoms are heterogeneous groups because they included both photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic forms and cell wall and without cell wall forms. The other demerits are the different members of the 3 kingdoms were evolved from different ancestors, so they are polyphyletic. And phylogenetic evolutionary relationship of lower organism are not fully neglected in this classification. That are the disadvantages of 5 kingdom classification. So this is the primary information about 5 kingdom classification and about the overall biological classification. So in the next video we can detailedly explain the 5 kingdoms: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Animalia and kingdom Plantae. So see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.